So I'm so excited to have Leanne Giles here. Leanne and I have worked together in the business space. She is just such an amazing marketer. She's so familiar with the podcasting space. She is like one of the most attentive to detail and just upbeat people I've ever met. So can do. And then she also recently took the content marketing program. And so I invited her just to share a little bit about her experience, how she's just continually evolving her skills, and then introduce her to you in case you are also looking for someone to support you with content marketing or podcasting. So just take it from there. Thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me to come and share.
Yeah.
I've loved getting to know you and working with you, and it's been like such a wonderful experience. So thank you.
Yes, yeah. No, it's been my pleasure. And maybe share a little bit about even what brought you into learning more about content and marketing, or anything that you feel like is relevant there leading into your expertise.
Sure. So I've been a virtual assistant. It'll be 2 years in June, and I quickly learned that I really enjoy the podcast side of things. I didn't even know that was an option when I started in this space. So I love the whole podcast management, everything there. And so when I learned about Freelance to Freedom, and I really wanted to learn how to become a better writer and to help the podcasts that I work with become more discoverable. So that's why I wanted to just grow in my writing. And so that's why I took the course, was to just learn more, basically advance my writing skills. But what I got out of it was so much more. Like, it helped me learn so much about marketing, especially with your content and in writing blogs. And I learned about SEO, which is, I always knew it was like important, but didn't really know what it was.
Mhm.
So I learned that, and it was just the way you outlined everything was so simple and really like a formula you can follow. So that was amazing, just to be able to like apply things like right away, because it was
Oh,
so
good.
easy to learn. Um, yeah, so I hope from from here I can just continue to help my clients grow and reach even more people and their
Mhm.
audience even more.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's kind of fun because it's like, I mean, I just feel like writing and marketing and content is such a fun thing to learn and field because there's nothing that it can't really touch or help. Where it's like, if you want to take it in the direction of podcasts, like you can do that and you can write for them or you can market them. Or, other people are interested in more of like the email side or webinars or blogs or whatever. Or even just your own website and stuff, like your own marketing. I'm like, I just feel like I use it every day and I'm so grateful. I'm like, it's fun to share because I'm like, oh, you can use this for everything, even writing emails to like, I don't know, get a house or something. Like you can use all those skill sets, right? To like be, I don't know, just more connect better, to be persuasive with audiences, like everything.
It's true. Like
Mhm.
with all of the clients I currently have, I've been able to like up level my skills, and it's given me confidence to say like, the
Yeah.
stuff I'm doing is really helping you in your business too. So it's given me the confidence to like raise my prices
Yes.
and that side of it too with my own business, which has been super helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because now you're bringing a skill set, like, I don't know, like now you can write, now you can edit, now you can do all the things where it's almost like I think brands are happy to have a partner, especially once like the SEO or all that stuff, where it's such a content strategy lens where it just makes sense. They're like, well, you now have all these assets. Instead of hiring three people, I can have you be my partner in this. And so it's kind of fun that you get to grow your business. But then I feel like brands as partners are also like, this is a no brainer. This makes so much sense because now you're bringing this much more to the table and stuff too.
Yeah, and I have you to thank for that. So
Oh,
thank you.
thank you. Well, likewise, likewise. What would you say? Do you have what was like one of your biggest takeaways? Maybe you talked about a few, but any big takeaways that stand out in terms of the course or even how you can apply it to your own business or writings going forward?
Yeah, the one biggest thing I'd say that I took from the course was when you taught us how to write a blog. And
Mm.
you took us through an example, and it was very like step by step. And you told us how you typically think about like how it's going to get the furthest reach. And like you really just laid it all out. And you went through an example because often when I learn something or I read it or watch a video, it's like, okay, well, how do I apply that now to my business or with my clients? But having you go through examples and you say, start, start here, and then do
Mhm.
this, and then you can add points like after the sentence, like it really made it so simple and easy to follow, and like I could apply it right away. So that was like the
Yes.
biggest thing. But the second thing also that I learned was um, all the prospecting activities. Like even at the end, you gave us that kind of
Oh,
sample
yeah.
sheet of like, okay, if you spend 30 minutes here and then the next day 5 minutes and post this on Facebook, like it's all of those, it's all laid out. So you don't even have to think about it if you follow those steps. Like I truly think anyone can get
Yeah.
clients doing that with copywriting. And so that was super just helpful in learning about gaining clients for copywriting.
So good. I'm so glad. Yeah, it's like it's one of the fun things I think about it. It's like here's the content and copy side, but then that's only one part. It's also like how do you get or scale your clients too? So that's kind of a fun thing about, week by week. But then for me, kind of thinking on the last week, I was like, I would really want something like, yes, week by week, you can do those activities and it's designed so that every single week you can start to get those channels going. But at the end, it's almost like, how do you make this a practice where until you're completely full with clients, how do you spend the time just a little bit every day continuing to build those channels? So I'm glad that that was helpful. I was like, I just feel like for my personality, I need one thing that I can just check off and make it simple. So I'm glad that that works that way.
Yeah, and I think probably without you even realizing it, like you've really been an encouragement in building my business like at my own pace in a way that is
Good.
comfortable to me, like because I am a mom and so my time is maybe a little less limited that I have to work on my business, but it's really like you have given me that encouragement and also like the necessary steps in order to move forward. So thank you for that.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. I think you have such an amazing story about, well, even 2 years ago, having started a virtual assisting like business, that's
Mm,
huge. And then to even build that up and then to be able to almost expand it, or you're like narrowing into a certain niche that you love, but also like bringing such skill sets that you kind of get to grow both this virtual assistant business that you built, but then you've evolved it into something hopefully that
mm,
kind of lets you balance more of like motherhood and then work, or just continually like move towards that goal too, right? Like even if it's a process, it's fun to just see that and just how intentional you've been. Like this side of my life is really important to me, but so is this, and how can I like get the best of both and have your work serve like the family life, and then the family life also be something you get to enjoy alongside work. I don't know, it's just been really inspiring for me to watch and see how you've done that.
oh, thank you. I mean, some weeks it's like, yes, it can be I'm building my business. And then
Mhm.
other times it's like, okay, this needs to be complete autopilot where like family's gonna be the focus. Like right now
Yeah.
it's spring break. So it's just trying to make that balance and do the best I can.
Yes. Yeah. I know. That's a fun thing to see too, because like one of the things that I just feel like can be true with this is like the dream or the like the working remotely or whatever, it doesn't have to be like, okay, now you go work in Bali forever. It can also be just like you get to spend time with your kids more, or you get to have the balance, or when it's spring break, like you can have the time, the family time, and make the memories. And I just think that's a really just fun, I don't know, thing to be able to see, like how you've done that, where you've really done it for what looks like your dream and your family life. And so that's fun to see too, that it can all be different and all be good, but it's just finding your own version of what that freedom and fulfillment and joy at the highest form like looks like.
Yeah.
What would you say, like kind of coming from the virtual, assistant space, but then also being kind of a, expert in managing podcasts and now the content and marketing, like, would you have any advice to anyone wanting to kind of pursue any of these fields or be where you were a few years ago, whether it's starting their maybe they're in corporate or they're thinking about starting a side hustle or building a business, like any takeaways that you've learned or advice that you would give to them?
I would say to just start. Like, you have to start somewhere, and,
Yeah.
you might be kicking yourself in a year or 2 from now because you're still in the exact same place. So even if you make, like, a small move to, whether that's, like, investing in yourself in a course or just, deciding what it is, like, that you're really passionate about and see if there is a market for it. But it's just making those small steps to get closer to, like, the business that you want to have and therefore the life that you want to create for yourself. So
Yeah, I love
those
that.
small steps will
So
all add up.
good.
And, like, it
Mhm.
took me, like, a full year of being a virtual assistant to leave my 9 to 5. And, like,
Mhm.
yes, it's hard to balance both and be a mom, but I knew that's what I wanted, so I just continually had to make the choices and the steps forward to get to where I wanted to be, and it's still a process, like, I'm still figuring that all out and making sure the decisions I make do align with my values and with, just what I want my life to look like, so that's what I would say.
Yeah, that's so amazing. I co-sign on that. Every piece of that. So good. Just getting started and letting it will be a little bit of a process, but like the sooner you get started, the sooner you can find out your next right step and then the next piece. And it's almost like we all want all the pieces to make sense before we even go, but that's almost not how anything is built. You just have to get out there and it can be slow. It can be just one little thing every day, but just building that dream, I think starting somewhere is so huge. Love that. Well,
Exactly.
yeah. What about for you? Like, where are you headed with your business now? And then I know so many things that make you special, but what would you say makes you such a great partner to anyone looking to work with someone like that?
Um, okay, so the first part of your question, um, I'm trying to basically take my business into doing podcast management and copywriting as well, just because I really love doing both. And I think they often go hand in hand, to just really, like, making yourself known and getting a further reach.
Yeah.
Um, so, and also, like, working a little bit less.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
yeah, just trying to figure all that out and, um, just to create a little bit more space and freedom in my life so I'm not, like, working all the time. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's the first part, and then, so for me, like, I really will only work with clients that I, like, feel passionate about what they're doing and, like, truly can get behind their mission, because then I'm able to put, like, all of my effort and everything that I have into helping them and, like, watching them grow and succeed. Like, it just brings me so much joy to
Mhm.
see, like, the impact that they're making. So, like, whenever I work with clients, that's like, I'm gonna stand behind you and do whatever I can to help them grow. So
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
enjoy.
amazing. Yes. And I've seen, your writing, your work, like your even the social media promotions that you'll do with podcasts. And like, I think you have such amazing voice in all of it. Like it's organized, like it makes sense in terms of like the podcast show notes or a blog post. It all flows so well. But then even just how you engage, you know, on behalf of a podcast or the podcast owner, I just feel like it's so thoughtful. You just really share like their brand voice, and just you can just feel it, like even probably like through the screen right here, how you can just see that you like are so warm and kind-hearted. I just feel like that translates even into the work that you do and the brands you support. So I've totally seen that, and like I've seen your work, and it's just really, really high quality, and just your personality shines through too, which is like the fun part.